honeysuckle suit on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Well, welcome to Capital Region today. I'm so glad that you're joining us today. Oh my goodness, the weather's so great. I just can't believe how spring has finally sprung. And here we are with our great show coming up. We have some great guests coming up. We're going to be talking about the YMCA today, as well as the High School Musical Theater Awards that are coming up here at Proctors. We're also talking about a Taste of Mercy from the Circles of Mercy. They're having a big fundraiser. And then Schenectady Civic Players has The Cake. Oh, this has got to be a great show. I can't wait to see that one. And then Bunbury Players is having It's a Flop, which is it's a musical. We're going to hear about songs that were not probably the best ones in the show, so it'll be kind of fun to hear that. So we have a great lineup today, and thank you for joining us. And we're going to start right out talking about the YMCA. And okay, with the wait, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So anyway, but it's a popular song. That's sure at every party.
Yeah, and actually we have a video about that song and its connection with the LGBTQ community.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, you know, that's where there's always been a connection there.
Yeah, with the village people.
You got it, and we are a very inclusive organization. We are in Pride every year, and we do the YMCA's, we march in the Pride parade, so we love
good
that
for you,
song.
but we're not doing it today.
We're not.
No, I mean, maybe if they play it, we could, but they're not going to play it. But anyway. So the YMCA, you were shut down for a little while. I mean, the pandemic has been tough on everybody and every organization. So how have you handled that?
Yeah, so the Capital District YMCA, we have 8 locations, plus we have 2 camps. We've got a venture camp over in Gillerland and Camp Gingecook on Lake George. And then we run a lot of the child care centers and after-school programs in the Capital District. In fact, we're one of the largest providers of child care services.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so when COVID hit, we actually continued our child care services for essential workers. We served 1,600 children during that time.
And where do you do it at each of your facilities? Or?
So we actually do it in the schools, and then we also have
in
specific
the
child
schools.
care facilities. Yeah, so we've actually, in Schenectady County, we have one that's over in Scotia called Lally Early Childhood Center. It's an actual center. It's close to downtown Scotia. And so we have both. And so we offer camps in the summer at our facility, summer camp, which is very popular. Mm-hmm. In addition to working with local churches, sometimes we work with them. Basically, where there's a need that we can identify in the community, we have child care services.
Well, that's why I really didn't realize that you were so involved with that end of it. I knew that there was some, but I didn't realize the extent of it.
Yeah, and I mean, the most important thing about us is not only for childcare, but also for membership, is we turn no family away. We have financial aid and assistance and scholarships, including for camp. So if there's ever a family in need, they simply have to fill out a form, and we'll make sure they get taken care of.
Yeah, and it's important to be so inclusive.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, that's one of our hallmarks. It's a very important principle to the YMCA, to be an inclusive community, to welcome all in.
Right. So now you have the YMCA. Mm-hmm. Used to be only men, but that's changed, hasn't it?
Yes, that's why there was also the Young Women's Christian Association, who's a wonderful organization.
Are you partners, or are you separate?
We work together. We work together. We're not the same organization, but we work very closely. The YMCA, people don't realize this, is not only some people just think of us as a gym and swim, but we're actually community partners. So we work within our network with all kinds of different partner organizations to provide programming about health and wellness across the Capital District. So we have a really large program right now for, we work very closely with USCI, I'm trying to think of this, United States Community, Refugee, and Immigrant Services.
Oh.
So we work very closely with refugee children and women. We actually have a large group of refugee children going up to Camp Gingecook this weekend.
Wonderful.
We offer programming. We have classes for women, women-only swim classes, so that way they can be in a safe environment. We've actually provided swimsuits that are culturally appropriate for what they feel comfortable with. So again, we're just very
So when you mention culturally appropriate, that's really interesting, because of course each culture is a little bit different in how they perceive what they have to do.
And we want to make a safe, comfortable environment for everyone to have health and wellness, because we believe that's a principle that every person in our community has a right to health and wellness.
Absolutely. So you have, now when you do with the immigration, I'm really glad to hear that, because it's really tough when we look at what's happening in the world today, and that people just are trying to survive and to go to a better place, knowing that where they are coming from is really in a bad situation, like in Mexico with the drug cartels, and then you look at what's going on in the Ukraine, and we're looking at Afghanistan. I mean, there's so many issues that you have to deal with. How do you reach out to them?
So we actually have a director who's in charge of our community partnerships. She's actually an immigrant herself, and so she already had kind of a lot of connections within the community, but she's been going around and forging and making these connections even stronger. So with the United States, with the community, the refugee center, they basically said, okay, we provide housing, but that's about it. So we came in and said, okay, well, let's provide programming. So right now, I don't know a lot of people realize this, but there's actually several hundred Afghani refugees here in the Capital District. They're being housed right now at hotels while they're working on getting more permanent housing. So our coordinator, our manager of this, actually goes and works with she brings in one of our yoga instructors, and they go to the hotel and do yoga on site with them
wonderful,
there.
Yeah.
So we identify the needs that aren't being met in the health and wellness community through our community partnerships and figure out a solution for it.
I know that we have, I think New York has one of the largest populations of Afghanis.
Yeah.
And the capital region also has a large population. Yeah. And we should be cognizant that we have different people. I mean, we're not all the same, and we should embrace the differences within our cultures of different people that are coming in, and they're going to share a lot with us.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't realize that here in Schenectady County, we have a large Guyanese population.
Oh, yeah.
So at our Lally Early Childhood Center, I was just talking about over in Scotia, they do all kinds of different celebrations for those families.
Exactly.
They also make sure they have food they provide for the children that goes with all of their cultural dietary restrictions and everything. So it's all about being inclusive.
Yeah, and I think the more open we are, the more understanding we are, and the more tolerant we become. I hate to use the word tolerant because that means it has a different connotation, and I don't like that word, but inclusive I think
Yes.
does cover it appropriately. You have a food drive coming up, I heard?
So we just had a food drive.
Oh, you just
on
had
Friday.
one, okay.
Yep, so that's another one of so we have 4 pillars that we work through, and food insecurity is one of the things that we do that people don't realize.
And it's getting worse.
It's getting worse, yeah. So on Friday, we worked with Hannaford and their nutritionist there, and we identified about $150 worth of food, plus we got an additional $50 for gift cards to give to 150 families in our child care service programs who are on financial assistance right now, because we know that with the cost of gas going up, people are having to make sacrifices, and unfortunately a lot of times that comes to their food budget.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so we wanted to make sure that we were providing not only food for them, but healthy, nutritious food to help those kids have strong bones. So we do that a lot. We also have a basket brigade at Thanksgiving, where last year we provided over 900 meals, Thanksgiving meals to families. I know it's one of those people.
Do you work with the food bank too?
Yeah, we do. And we work with actually all the regional food banks to make sure. During COVID, we were one of the only food drives in the area that didn't require showing a form of identification, so anyone could come. So that was a big deal for us.
There were a lot. You saw the cars that come through, and it was like...
we had those lines at our facilities, lots of lines, and there's still a huge need in our community for those things. People don't realize this, but even in Clifton Park, which maybe there's a perception of that they're a little bit better.
Yeah.
We have quite a few families on financial assistance there, so we want to make sure we reach every single community in the capital region to give them that healthy, nutritious food. So again, we're more than a gym and swim. We always keep saying that, but people don't realize that.
Tell me the ones that you've recently reopened.
So we just reopened on May 1st. We opened Troy and Schenectady. Those facilities, just because right now, as many people are going through, we had a staffing issue.
That's terrible for most. It's amazing, the staffing issue. And the jobs are out there. Where are the people?
Lots and lots of jobs available. So if anyone's interested, please visit our website, cdymca.org, to look at our employment opportunities. The Y is a great organization to work with. There's a lot of growth opportunities there, but we didn't have the employees to be able to open those facilities up. So we're so happy, because for us especially, those are 2 urban facilities. And a lot of what we do is swim lessons, right? We have indoor pools. And so it's really important for us to be able to offer those swim opportunities to children in urban environments, because I think it's 70% of drowning deaths are actually correlated to people from urban environments who never learned how to swim.
They've never been by the water.
Correct. Yeah.
So and then when they are, it's like
So we're having a Safety Around Water Day over at our Glenville branch, actually, where we're working with elementary schools in Schenectady County, and they're bringing over, in Schenectady, actually city schools, they're bringing over their children to our Glenville facility, and we teach them how to swim for a day and just basic learning safety principles. I think that's on May 21st, and we're really excited about that. We do that every year because that's just so important to us.
Well, I've got to say you are, the YMCA is involved.
Yes.
That's the word I'm going to use. You are involved in the community. But Emily, it's just such a pleasure to meet you and to see the energy that you exude about what your job is and what you're doing and what the YMCA is doing for our community. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so
much. Hope you
much.
come back again sometime.
Thank you.
Good. We're going to switch gears, I guess, in a sense, and we're going to be going to talk about Proctors and what's coming up. We were just talking about the youth and that end of trying to keep people engaged. Well, Proctors is doing that. They're doing it by looking at what kids are doing on their own stages in the schools, and they're giving out some high school musical theater awards, right, Shai?
Yes, that is
Shai
so
Davenport
right.
is with us. She's with Proctors Collaborative. Tell me, how many schools?
17 schools that we've got this year. Normally, post or pre-COVID,
Yeah,
I
I
should
know,
say.
it's PC. And
Where are we with COVID? Before, we would have around 30 schools. So to have the 17 schools that we have now this year is just so great.
And how do you pick the musical? I mean, each school probably does one musical, so you don't have a lot to choose from. I mean, and the one school doesn't have three you have to choose from. You just pick
Right.
one. Yeah,
So
okay.
it's the schools will pick their shows. This year we had 2 schools actually doing the same show,
Oh, what
Beauty
were
and the
the-
Beast. Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
From Troy and oh goodness, I can't remember the last one. There's so many schools off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
well, that's okay. You have to name them all.
But yes, the 2 schools that did the same show, we gather a group of judges who then we assign schools, and they will go out and judge the schools. They'll base them off of, technical execution, choreography, ensemble, and overall production.
Choreography?
Yes, and
Yeah,
choreography
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So they'll judge those, we get the scores, and then I do so much math.
do the math?
So much math. And then at the end of that, we have 3 finalists or nominees from each category, except for our Best Actor and Actress categories. We get 5 nominees for both of those. And then at the end of this, which we will be doing on Saturday, we announce the winners, and the winners of the Best Actress and Actress go on to the National High School Musical Theater Awards.
Oh, I didn't know there was a national. How
Yes,
cool.
also known as the Jimmies, and that
Oh,
takes
yeah, I
place.
heard the Jimmies.
Yes,
Yeah,
that takes
that's
place
right. I
in New York
didn't-
City.
yeah.
So we call it in our department Broadway Boot Camp. That the Best Actor and Actress will go to.
Yeah. So does Proctors has their own musical that they do with kids, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's over the summer
Over the
in our
summer.
Broadway camp.
Yeah.
So yeah, this year we're doing Into the Woods.
And you just recently had the Broadway Night for Kids, too, I think, here at Proctors, on the 5th, I think it was.
I
They do.
believe
Yes, I think
so.
with during Cats or something. I think
Yes,
you
we
did,
did. We
yeah.
have some people coming in
Yeah.
for Cats, and then we also had our middle school program that's after school. That
Yeah.
happened up in the Addy.
Yeah.
We did the Phantom Toll Booth this year.
It's great, I think, to get kids, and they seem to really flourish when they're on stage. It's like they're scared, and then all of a sudden, it's like a flower blooming.
Yes.
Because they just, boom.
Once they hit that stage, it's a completely, just different person. And seeing the growth in some of these students, I've been an intern at Proctors, and coming in here and being a part of their summer programs, I've seen some of the students who were in our camps, and then I got to go out and see them perform in their high schools, and just seeing the growth and the impact and things that we've provided for them, to see them being able to go out and just use it, it's just such a great feeling.
Well, and it's important because, we do stress STEM, which of course is very important, but there's got to be that other part of all of us that is creative. You can't get really creative, well, you can, I guess, in math, but I'm not sure how, but you can do creative math and it might not be right,
Yes,
though.
no.
But in theater and in art and many of the other venues that cause creativity, I think this is just fabulous for kids.
Yeah, this is a really great experience, especially that we get to send winners off to work with a whole team of professionals. They will be placed into 3 different groups, and they will work with these kids. And we have actually 4. What's the word I'm looking? Not locations within New York, so. The Jimmy's is a national level, so
Right.
there are organizations from all over the country.
Okay, so then there's only 4
In New York, in New York State, that are
Competition.
going there. Yes.
Okay.
So there's us
You're
in
one.
the capital region.
Okay.
We've got Syracuse, Buffalo, and then New York City.
Right.
So
New York City's got to be tough.
it is, but there's some kids that, come from Omaha or, just random places that you've never thought of in this country that are just really great talents.
So in New York, there's 4
Organizations.
competitions.
Yes.
Okay, 4 competitions. So you have the 4 of them. Now they're one
So
from each of them. They're going to go to national.
2 people from Buffalo for Best Actor and Actress, 2 people from Syracuse, 2 people from the capital region, and 2 from the city.
And when are the Jimmys?
The Jimmy's is June 27th.
Okay, so it's coming up pretty quickly.
Yes, it is.
Got to be exciting. So do most of the kids that are involved in this, do they now see a chance to come to Proctor's for the summer
Oh,
music?
yes, we've got so many new students this summer, just coming from our HSMTA this year. We had Saratoga Schools who was doing Into the Woods. That was their production.
Oh, boy, that's Sondheim. That's really a tough
so
one to
a lot
do.
of them were just so excited. So we've got a lot of new faces this year, and it's just great.
Yeah, that's great. So what was the most unusual musical that you've, or was there one?
Well, actually, I got the pleasure to go see Honk at Glens Falls, and I had no idea. Honk, like a duck, like a honk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's basically.
I've never heard of that one.
It's the story of the ugly duckling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had no idea. I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is just amazing. And then it finally dawned on me. I'm like, no, this is the ugly duckling.
Yeah, the swan.
Yes, and it was just a great show.
I've never heard of the musical.
Me either. I believe it's new.
Okay.
But it's just not something that you would see. I mean, another school did Matilda. We've had Shrek the Musical, Tarzan.
And they always do, somebody's gonna do Grease, I would imagine.
No Grease. We had Mamma Mia. What else did we have? Little Women, My Fair Lady. Yeah, some really, really good productions came out this year.
And speaking of good productions, I'm telling you, got a great lineup here at Proctor's coming in for their Broadway series.
Yes, we do. It's
amazing,
great.
And Hamilton's coming back.
Oh, I know. I was so disappointed I couldn't go see it. It was.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh.
I wanted to, but
if you have not
COVID.
seen Hamilton, I'm telling you, you've got to see it. It is. And some people say, well, I don't like rap, but it's not just rap. It's
I tried
every
to watch
kind
it
of music
on TV because I believe it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm just such a musical theater person. Like I have to see it live.
You got to see
it's
it live.
It's not the same of watching it on my.
It's
TV.
amazing, and Lin-Manuel. I mean, he's a fabulous.
Well, I recently saw Cats for the first time.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Loved it. Everyone says, it's either really love it or it's okay. I absolutely loved Cats. It was so much fun to watch.
And the makeup is enough. I mean, that's all. I mean,
Yes.
if you can just see the makeup, it's...
Yeah, the makeup, the dancing, the singing, it was
And
such
the way
a fun
they
show.
move, so they look like cats. Oh, gee, what's cats?
I'm looking at them like I can picture a real cat right here.
Yeah, and they slither around on the floor. Yeah,
it was great.
Well, I'm glad you got to see it. Yeah,
thank you.
But there's a lot of good shows coming up at Proctor's. I suggest that you get a season ticket and enjoy all of them. Aladdin is your first one, I think, coming up.
Yes, I'm excited for that one. That's one of my favorite movies.
You got a great place to work.
Yeah, I do. I love the work perks.
I know, that's great. So right now, when you finish with the High School Musical, are you done?
No.
You go home and...
No, I do not. So
what do you do after that?
As soon as this is over on Saturday,
the 14th.
We've got to get all of our winners, the Best Actor and Best Actress. They've got to submit videos to go on to the Jimmys.
Oh, okay.
So I get maybe about 2 weeks of non-High School Musical Theater Awards, but then June 20th, we are on a train and we're going to the city where we'll be for 11 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
How exciting.
It is. These kids, it's where you really learn if, yes, this is absolutely what I want to do, or you know what, this isn't it. But either way, they're going to meet new people from all over. It's going to be great resources, a great time, and just a great education experience.
Of course, you could always go back to Chorus Line where the kids are just, eating their heart out whether they want to be there. So anyway, I love that musical anyway. Shai, it's a pleasure to meet you. I think it's the first time we've met. It's a pleasure to meet you. I hope this won't be the last, and you'll come on the show again and talk about some other things.
Yes.
Maybe summer events?
Yes,
and
I
things?
would
Yeah.
love to.
Good. Thank you so much, Shai, for being here. She's with Proctors Collaborative. Shai Davenport. We're going to go over to our next guest, and I have Richard Zazycki on. Now, Richard usually comes on and talks about taxes, but tax season is over. So he's on to raising some money for some really good causes. What are you up to, Richard?
Hi, Ann. Good to be back.
Taste of Mercy?
Taste of Mercy. It's our signature fundraising event. Impacted by COVID, like many of the other nonprofits, so we've not been able to do any fundraising. So we're kind of, with careful steps, making the effort to try to put together our...
Is it virtual or in person?
No, it's going to be in person.
Yeah.
It's gonna be-
Most of them are going back to in person, and we, with fingers crossed
And
and
masks,
masks.
right.
Right.
And
I
hopefully
wear my
everybody-
mask all the time. I'm
So
not
do
going
I.
to take a chance.
So do I.
I mean, we're here, and we know that, they've certainly got great ventilation and everything in the building, so I'm feeling comfortable. But we've been wearing our masks before the show, so just trying to keep a little bit protected. So first of all, let's back up. Do a little rewind. Circles of Mercy is your organization. You're the executive director.
Correct.
What do you do? Because, I mean, we heard from the or YMCA and heard what they're doing, and what are you doing?
Well, it's interesting, the segue, because we've partnered with the East Greenbush branch of the Y. We also partner with the Capital Region Refugee Center.
Oh, so you kind of are all doing,
these are
you're all
part of
working
my-
together.
Right. Part of my job is to cultivate and maintain relationships, as well as recruit and mentor volunteers. The other important thing certainly is finances, and that's where the fundraising comes in, going to benefactors and donors, asking them for their financial support to keep the organization on the straight and narrow. So that's basically my job. I've been in that position, working for the Sisters of Mercy for the past 16 years. The organization is in its 24th year. We will celebrate our 25th anniversary on September the 24th.
Oh, my goodness, I'm just thinking my 25th
Yours is-
anniversary is going to
we're-
be on the 14th of
Right?
September.
We're in parallel.
We're parallel.
We're parallel. So it's been, and the service that you provide us as a nonprofit is priceless, because it allows us the opportunity to tell your viewers about our organization, to ask them to help support us, whether it's financially or with clothing or volunteering to do income taxes. It's all there. And we were, you mentioned different things. We did the tax program. We did about 300 tax returns.
Which was probably lower than you've done in the
Normally,
past.
but we partner with two other operations, a mobile site that's run by our friend Joanne Passano, and then we have another site up in the city of Troy. So we've done just about 600 returns. So we're talking close to $750,000.
And when we talk about the $750 million, that's money coming back.
Back to the community, the clients and tax payers pay their bills, they pay their rent, they pay their loans, they buy food. So it immediately comes right back into the community.
And the one thing I think that you do that some of these other, businesses do is that you don't try and sell them alone, right?
Right, exactly. We don't do the
Advanced return or what,
Yeah.
what a refund. Or
anticipation refund loan.
Yeah.
So so that was, the tax season was pretty busy. We, in the middle of this, we did Easter baskets, overwhelming.
Oh, Easter baskets, what a cute
Yes,
idea.
Overwhelming. We had over 250 baskets donated.
Are they just eggs, or did you put a ham in there?
No, they were completely filled with candy, coloring books, games.
Oh, for kids, yeah.
Personal care products, and also toothbrushes, floss, and toothpaste. So we have the dental
Good idea.
focus with the baskets. It was a partnership again with the Y, the East Greenbush branch. We took care of our client families. We took care of over 85 kids in the Head Start program in Rensselaer that's sponsored by CEO. A couple of the other donations we made was to the Boys and Girls Club and to some of the local parishes, inner city parishes, so their kids could have Easter baskets. So that's just a quick shot of the programs that we do. We run our thrift store. Unfortunately, because of COVID, it's not open every day. So Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 to 2, we have the best thrift store in the capital
You got to
region.
tell people, where is it?
It's located at 11 Washington Street, where our
In
offices
Rensselaer.
are in Rensselaer. We have shoppers that come from all over. And the good thing about the thrift store, besides being able to buy some nice clothing at a very low price, is that clients that are indigent and they register, they can come in once a month and shop for free and get a clothing grant. The other thing that we're able to do is if there's a disaster in a locale, like a fire, or if there's a sudden influx of refugees, we're able to provide clothing
With what you have?
with what we have.
Do you have, I know you're talking about clothing, but what about, like, setting up a kitchen or being able to get a pot and,
Yes, those are some of the other items. We don't carry anything electrical, but under our housewares, we do pots and pans, plates, utensils.
so if
glasses.
someone is watching and is cleaning out somebody's house,
Right.
will you take it?
We'll take it. We'll take, as long as everything's been recently.
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
understand,
and-
yeah.
and-
It's understandable, you don't want a crack
Well,
pot.
Yeah, but sometimes
Or a crack
people
pot.
don't, crack pot, they don't get it. So the utensils, sheets, towels, blankets, those kind of things.
Yeah, because anything is, if you come from, if you're a refugee and all you've got is your bag,
That's
that
it.
you're, with your little, maybe some photographs and a few things that you're trying to escape a bad situation,
Yeah.
you need everything.
And that happens on a regular basis too with domestic violence. So we have a lot of clients.
Do you
that
work
are-
with the domestic
that-
violence
Right,
as well?
they're referred to us, we'll give them clothing grants until they're able to take care of themselves.
Yeah, do you do anything with housing, or just try and
No.
direct them to,
Right,
like, the United Way? or something?
It's like anything else.
You can only do so
And
much.
we can only do so much, and our focus happens to be the holiday programs for the kids, back-to-school supplies, the Easter baskets. We do adopt a family at Christmas time. We do a lot with newborn moms with newborns, layette sets, diapers and wipes, because food stamps, you can't buy diapers and wipes.
No, I know, I mean, things that you really
You would
need.
think, but, and for some reason, it's not part of
Well, it's
of the
food,
step.
so therefore, you
Right.
can't buy tissues or you can't buy toilet
So
paper.
that's one of the things that we're able to do is provide diapers and wipes. So that all takes an effort. That all takes the ability to reach out to the community in partnership to help us, to help others. And that's kind of the way I present it. It's you're helping us to help others. And our focus has always been providing hope, hospitality, and empowerment to the community. And that community, our primary focus is the city of Rensselaer, but we have people that come from all over the capital region looking for clothing, or especially to get their taxes done. We have quite a reputation with having Joanne.
Yeah, Joanne Passano, because she used to be with the IRS,
Right.
she used to come on my show with the IRS, and
Right.
now
And now
she's morphed into
she-
helping with you.
So the program has just been wonderful. But
So your Taste of Mercy, and I think we had a slide up there.
Yep.
The Taste of Mercy is a way to raise money.
one of the ways, it's probably the most important
Yeah.
fundraising event, oh yes, I see it now. Probably the most important fundraising event that we do. We're happy this year to be able to honor Dr. Thomas Campbell, who's the president of Maria College. Tom has done a great job, not only with the Mercy mission at Maria College, but also supporting us as a partner because we're also a sponsored ministry of the Sisters. So this gives us an opportunity, not only as an agency, but as community-wide, to be able to honor Tom for his work at the college.
Do you usually honor someone at the?
Yes,
at
we've
the-
always done that. As I mentioned, we've been unable to do it for 2 years. So this is our segue into trying to get back into the swing of things. It's going to be held at the Italian Community Center on Washington Avenue Extension. Our friends Ed and Eddie Shai, Touche Catering, they're going to be taking care of the food and refreshments. We have a couple of other friends, Danica and Audra Novashevsky, that will provide background music during the event. And then we present the Hope and Hospitality Award. And then we also have a volunteer award that we give out each year. And I'm happy to say that Elise Lenard, one of our volunteers at Circles, is going to be honored with the Sister Gail Reith Volunteer Service Award. So it's a nice way for people to get together safely, with COVID
Yeah, I mean, I'm
restrictions.
sure that everybody's trying to be cautious. Nobody wants to be the ground zero for
No,
another
exactly.
round of it.
Or have a super spreader event. But as we've been talking, not only with the previous guests from the Y, but us, it's all partnerships. And one of the slides that's up there.
Yeah,
is-
let's talk about
the
who
various
is supporting
partnerships.
this?
Partnerships that we have through, with Albany Med, Micro Knowledge, Fidelis Care. We have an enroller that's available to get people enrolled for health insurance. Partnered with Siena College, the Franciscan Service Center. Touche Catering, as I mentioned. Bill Lyons, WJ Lyons Funeral Home. Our accountant, Alexander Cruden, Manning and the Pier. The Diocese of Albany, Maria College, Pasanella Fuels. I mean, CEFQ. I mean, I'm talking about a great group of partners.
Well, I mean, the fact that you have this number of prestigious companies that are, or organizations that are supporting you, it just says a whole lot.
Oh, it does, and I think people understand, and when you look at the amount, and our budget is very small, and our budget's not more than $165,000. I'm the only full-time person. We have 2 part-time people for secretaries and administrative assistants. All the rest are volunteers. I have over 100 volunteers that help us, whether it's to do taxes, make the Easter baskets, collect the school supplies during the summer, get the backpacks loaded up in September, whether it's taking clothing and houseware donations in through the thrift store or organizing the thrift store. Each year, twice a
You
year.
have people that
Twice
are-
a year, you got to change over that inventory. You go from, we just came from winter,
Winter.
fall, into summer, spring, and it takes work.
Yeah.
And the old saying, it takes a village, and it really is that.
Before we end, I know that it started out with Sisters of Mercy. Sisters of Mercy, right?
Right.
Yeah. Are they still
1863.
around? Or?
Yes. 1863 was when the first sisters came on the overnight day ferry out of New York City.
Were they from Ireland?
From Ireland to New York, and then from New York, 4 sisters came up with 75 cents. That's all the Mother Superior would give them, 75 cents.
She didn't want them out walking down Park Avenue buying anything, right?
Not only that, she wanted them to make the connection, and that was where Catherine Macaulay did back in Dublin, Ireland, was make the connection with people who can provide
Yeah.
for those that don't have it. And it's those, again, it's all the partnerships.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Thanks, Ann.
And I hope that you have a really good turnout for your event. And if you can't make the event, perhaps you'd like to make a donation to them or support their thrift store, because the money they receive from the thrift store they can use for other things.
Right, goes right back in
And if you
operations.
want to donate, I'm sure they'll be glad to take your donations as
Be
well.
glad to have it. I
Yeah.
can be reached at 518-462-0899. Our website is circlesofmercy.org, and my email, very simple, circlesofmercy@nicap.rr.com.
Good. I hope that you get some support. Yeah.
Thanks, Ann. It's good to be
Richard,
with
it's
you.
always great to see you,
Pleasure.
and
Thank
see
you.
you at tax season, I guess, unless I see you before
I
that.
hope so. You take
We're
care. Have
we're
a great summer.
Yeah, we're going to go to our next guest. One of my favorite places to go for plays, of course, is Schenectady Civic Players. And this new play coming up is no exception, because It's so appropriate at this time of what's going on in the world. Thank you so much, Cori. How's your mom, by the way?
Great, thank you.
Good,
She
good.
says
I meant to
hello.
ask you how she's doing.
Yeah.
I know her mom, that's why I asked. But anyway, tell me about
The cake.
the cake.
Yes, The
Yeah.
Cake by Becca Brunstetter, directed by Sarah Popini. It is.
And you're the assistant director.
I'm the assistant director. Yep. It's a new play. It's fantastic.
They were going to do it before, and
Yes.
then the pandemic hit, and
Yes.
so, yeah.
We're one of the productions that we had auditioned pre-pandemic, and things were just sort of starting up in pre-production when the pandemic hit.
Did you have a whole new cast?
We have one new cast member. The other three are from
How great.
original.
Oh, how
Yes,
great
yeah.
that is.
And a couple of new tech and crew folks, but the core group is from when we were originally going to put it on pre-pandemic. So
Yeah.
I came on last fall, so I'm one of the newer ads. But yeah, for the most part, and so too, the actors and everybody had 2 years to keep chewing on it and have it in mind and all that. And it really shows. We've just gone from day one up to performance ready, just really quickly. It's been beautiful.
The theme, I think, is really interesting, because we've seen that in the news, actually,
Yes.
where it has to do with somebody that was that they wanted a cake, but they didn't believe in what they were wanting,
Right,
one of those
right,
things.
right.
So, I'll let you
Yes.
explain.
Yes, so it has to do with a bit of the setting is a baker in a bakery is approached to bake a wedding cake, and then she comes to find out that the cake is for a gay couple, and so she's sort of going through the struggle of the religious beliefs that she was raised with, but her love for one of the women in the couple. So the
It's
themes,
just a cake. It's just a cake.
and we get to eat a lot of cake. Which
Oh,
is,
yay.
I'm not complaining about that. And
But
the
it's
actors
just
get to eat a
a
lot. but-
cake.
yeah, the thing, it has to do with certainty, the dangers of certainty, how certainty can keep us from trying to see someone else's perspective and learning about someone else's perspective. So this play really doesn't deal with sides of an issue. It has these beautifully fully formed human beings, these 3D human beings. It really shows the whole person. And yes, each character maybe is sort of at a different place on the sort of spectrum of inclusivity and in their beliefs. But you don't walk away villainizing anybody, and nobody's a saint. Everybody grows. It's really
It's a
beautiful to
process
watch.
then, a
It is. It is.
Let's bring up the photos if we can, because what I'd like to do is talk about some of the actors in it.
Okay, so now I'm gonna
I'd
need
like-
my glasses.
As soon as we bring it up on the screen, there it
Okay.
is. Maybe you can kind of
Great.
see.
Let's see. I was there for that day. That was a very fun shoot. We had a real cake again. So it's a 4-actor play. Basically, there are 2 couples. There is the baker and her husband.
Okay.
And then we have the newly engaged couple. Jen is from North Carolina, moves to Brooklyn, falls in love with Macy. They become engaged, and then they visit North Carolina in order to have the wedding in North Carolina.
Oh, so this takes place in North Carolina. So
Yes.
who are the actors? Because we got to give
yeah,
them a
great.
big shout out.
Yes, we do. Yes. Okay. So Macy is played by Monet Thompson. We have Della is played by Josephine O'Connor. David Orr plays Tim, and Elizabeth Sherwood Mack plays Jen. Yes, those are
Okay.
our 4 incredible actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is, I love the idea. Is this the last play for this?
It is, yep. It's the last play for the Schenectady Civic Players season, and the next season has been announced. And of course, there are also staged readings and other events that happen throughout.
So do you have the list in your brain?
Okay, I do know there's an Edward Albee, and I know there's an
Oh.
Agatha Christie.
Oh,
But
there's
beyond
a-
that, I don't remember.
Yeah,
So,
that's okay.
yeah, definitely check out the website.
I apologize. I should have that list in front of me, but I didn't
should
bring it either. So, but I did remember seeing it.
It's a great lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they always have a good lineup of
Yeah.
plays.
Don't
And
they?
are they going to do a murder mystery? Do you know this year?
The Agatha Christie is. Yes.
Oh, a murder mystery.
Yes, a murder mystery.
Okay,
I love
good.
a murder mystery.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's, Agatha
Oh, a murder
Christie.
mystery dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Well, that's
Yeah,
right. They're
yep,
both.
okay.
They're both. It fills both. It's
Sure,
okay,
yeah.
Yeah, the murder mystery
Oh,
theaters
right, yeah.
dinners are always fun.
Those are fun.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I know. So I know you're not from Schenectady, but you do.
Albany.
You're from Albany, yeah. So you come over here to help out with that.
Yeah, I love Schenectady Civic. This is my
You've been
second
here before,
production.
yeah.
I was in a production there, pre-pandemic, of course. They also, of course, have the B Scene, which is a night of skits and
Oh,
scenes.
those are so good.
So fun. That's coming up in June.
Yeah.
And I did that one year, many, many years ago. So I guess you could say this is my third time at the theater. working
Are you
there.
still auditioning for Be Seen?
Okay, no. The submissions have closed for this year.
Okay.
But keep an eye open early spring of 2023 for the late spring production.
So, in case you don't know what Be Seen is about, why don't you tell our
Okay,
audience what
yeah.
Be Seen, because it's a great idea.
It is. It's wonderful. So actors and directors from across the region can submit a proposal of a scene from a play that they would like to perform on stage. So the evening is just a collection of scenes and skits, and you can work on it on your own. You can have a friend come help direct you. It's minimal set, minimal props. It's an opportunity to maybe play a role that you've always wanted to play, maybe do a monologue. A lot of folks like to get on there and do like
The
a King Lear
monologues, I've been
or-
there, and
Yeah,
I'm telling
uh-huh.
you, there were some that I was like,
Unbelievable.
unbelievable. How did you remember all the, it's like the king, there are too many words.
Especially
one of those-
Shakespeare, where the language is so
Yeah,
different from
but
ours,
I mean,
right?
it's amazing.
It's amazing.
And not only that, the acting, they get into that role.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I was like caught up in it. Yeah,
good.
watching that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really fun night. You get to see a lot of like different types of works and a lot of different actors. Maybe you'll find a new actor or that you love and want to follow their career. And yeah, some old friends too. So yeah, it's a great night.
Yeah,
And it's
I've
coming
been
up in
involved
June.
with things when they do what they called it movie moments, and you picked a scene from a movie and did it, and it was so much
That's
fun.
fun.
But that was a different organization that did that, and it was a lot of fun because you look at it and go, oh yeah, I could do that, and then then you have to transcribe everything, and then you have to remember the lines, and then you have to act it. It's like
in front of people.
in front of people.
Right.
So, but it's a good exercise, I think. In there's a process that kind of gets you moving in a different direction or out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and you get ready. That practice, our rehearsal period for the play, like you get there. It's all part of supporting you and getting you ready for performance night. And yeah, you could definitely have faith in the process.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I hope that they will do their murder mystery dinner. I love that. I was in one of them, and it's like
Cool.
such a hoot to do
Awesome.
them.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
It was so much fun. I really enjoyed doing that, and of course, I love to just go and sit and eat too, and enjoy
yeah,
the meal
for
too
sure.
as well. And Cori, so how long have you been doing this?
Actually,
I mean, directing. You've
okay,
acted.
so this is my first
This
time.
is your first assistant
on the
director.
production side of a theater production.
Okay.
Yep. So this is my first time as assistant director.
And how does that
Absolutely
feel
loving it.
to make that?
I love it. I love it. Yes. Sarah Popini and I have worked together since 2013. This is our third production together. And when she approached me, I said, "Sure. I've never done that type of thing. I'm going to figure it out." And oh man, love it. Yeah, and I love being a part of this
I
particular
know,
team
and
too.
I love
so,
I love the venue. I love the
Yep.
Schenectady Civic Players. I love their theater. There's everything about it is just so professional.
Yes.
Even though it's an amateur, I guess you can't say it's professional theater.
Right, we're not equity.
Yeah, you're not
so,
equity or
right.
anything, but the point is that the programs that you put together are wonderful, and and it's a great team to work with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone's heart and soul, we all pour hearts
Yeah,
and
well,
hearts and
that's
souls
what I
into it,
find
so.
with theater groups, and
Yeah.
we're going to be talking to Bunbury Theater
Cool.
next, so we'll
Great.
find out
Can't
what
wait.
they're doing. Yeah, good.
Cool.
Cori, it's a pleasure to have you on,
Thank you
and
so
next
much, yeah.
time, instead of assistant director, we're going to see Cori Irwin director.
You never know. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks a
Glad to
lot.
have you on. But we're going to switch over here to Garrett West, and Garrett has been on the show before, and we're going to be talking about It's a Flop. So who's going to do a show about a flop? So what's going on?
Hey, so what our show is, it's a cabaret of songs from Broadway's biggest bombs. So it's the shows.
Are the whole shows the flop, or is it one song in it that's a
Well,
flop?
there's a bunch of songs from different shows. It's also it's a cabaret type narrative, and we include some information about the shows, why they flopped. To be clear, a flop in terms of performance count is less than 250. That's according to Ken Mandelbaum's book.
Oh, is that
Not
how they
Since Carrie.
determine it? Yeah.
Yep. And so think about that. With 250 performances, there's 8 performances a week. It's not a very long time at all. It goes by quicker than you think. And so there's some shows that really didn't deserve to be flops, and then some that are just absolute stinkers. So we've got a combination of the two.
You mean like the producers, where they tried to find the stinker?
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
love that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, we're gonna get the worst show in the room,
That's right.
look what happened.
I love flops. For the longest time, I actually curate a Facebook group called Broadway Flop Appreciation.
Oh, so I need to sign up for that?
Yeah,
I gotta be a member of that one.
We have about 400 members.
Okay, well, you're gonna have 401,
That's
because I'm gonna
right.
sign up.
We have people in that group that are, just people who love it, and then we have people who have actually been in the Broadway flops as well in the group. So it's really cool.
So what does it take, other than the 250 performances, what does it take to be a flop? Because, I mean, in the producers, the movie,
Right.
I'm going to go to the producers, they pick the worst director, the worst this, the subject matter, and
Right.
they said, how can it fail? The audiences are Jews, one of those, that's a line from the play. So what does it take to be a flop? I mean, if you're analyzing a show, what would you look at and say, oh, that's never going to go?
Well, it could be a lot of things. Typically, it's the book of the show, in which
We're talking the
script itself.
The script,
If it's
not the lyrics and song,
no.
but we're talking the script.
Sometimes the score's bad too, but if it's really not coherent, then a lot of times it'll flop. It could be just, it could be the score, it could be the direction, the director not having a clear vision. That's what happened with probably the most infamous flop, which is Carrie. The writers wrote
Carrie,
one
is
show.
it from the movie where
Stephen
with the
King.
stuff and,
Well, that ran in the 80s, and that ran, I believe, for 7 performances.
7?
Yep.
Stop to think about that, putting all that energy and
All that
money,
money.
the set.
It was one of the most expensive shows at the time. Well, the thing is, these writers, they wrote more of a high school show, what you would think of as Carrie, and there was this director from the Royal Shakespeare Company who had no idea how to do musicals. So one of the earlier producers, he ended up backing out of it. He said, you need to make the show more like Greece. Well,
Yeah.
he thought they meant ancient Greece. And he clad
Oh,
them
so
all.
he had the Greek chorus?
Yeah, he clad them all in togas. He made this set completely
Oh, my
white.
God.
So you have this 80s pop rock score.
Stop.
With Debbie Allen choreography, too. With everyone, yeah.
I don't believe that. Is
So,
that really what they did?
absolutely.
Oh, my God.
So in the show that we're doing, it's actually the Act 1 finale. We're doing a song from Carrie, but also we have an MC who talks about why the show flopped.
I can understand that if he couldn't understand what Greece was.
Right.
There's a big difference between
Absolutely.
ancient Greece and Greece with John
There are
Travolta.
just so many stories of, it's from, there's greed, there's murder, there's everything that you can imagine.
That's-
people
it-
going to prison, it's ridiculous.
So is this, okay, so it's a flop. Is that something that you got the script for, or the book
No,
for,
I-
or did
it's
you put it
something
together?
We all put together. My music director, Wendy Camilli, and I worked together, and we had a bunch of people. We have 20 people in the cast, which is our biggest show. I guess they all really like flops. It's a chance to sing songs that people don't get to hear all the time, so they were really gung-ho about it.
They were having fun with it.
Yeah. So they kind of gave us ideas of what they wanted. Some of them came in and auditioned with the songs. Other ones were like, okay, their voice type matches this. And luckily I have it way stored in my memory. I just know all these shows. So and it's a combination of some older shows and some newer shows, so you get a wide variety.
Do you have any, well, no, you wouldn't have, the show has to be a flop, not
Right,
the music.
Not the song. So one instance, the song "Hey, Look Me Over."
Yeah.
So that's from a flop called Wildcat, which starred Lucille Ball. Her
Really?
one and only time.
And she's a great performer.
Yeah, wow. Her singing wasn't up to par.
Wow.
And this was right after.
I said she was a great performer.
That's
I didn't
right.
say she was a great singer.
Right. This was right after she got divorced from Desi Arnaz.
Okay.
So part of the reason why the show flopped, it really wasn't a great show to begin with. The score was pretty good. It was Cy Coleman's score. But the script itself was not very good. And it really didn't help that she kept on having nervous breakdowns and had to take vacations.
Woo!
So rather than put an understudy on, because the only reason people were
Yeah,
going
they
to
were
see
going
the
because it was
show-
Lucille Ball.
Lucy. So they closed the show.
Okay, so it was basically because of her inability
Right.
to continue on with it. Yeah, so maybe the show wouldn't be so bad otherwise. Who knows?
It needed some
It
work.
needed a lot of work. Do they actually, and I understand, just recently, Schenectady Light Opera, oh, excuse me, I forgot the name of the play.
Merrily We Roll Along.
Yeah, and that was kind of a flop in the beginning. They redid it.
Yes, there's a lot of shows like that. I'm trying to think, with Carrie itself, that's been
Oh, don't tell me
revised.
they did it twice, and
No,
they did it in Greece.
It's been heavily
With black-
revised.
black outfits.
It's been heavily revised, and it's what it is today. It's
Okay.
close to the movie, it's close to the tone.
Okay.
There's other shows, there's like Candide, that flopped as well. That's not, unfortunately, we're not doing a song from Candide, but I'm trying to think of other shows we're doing,
But do they come back? I mean,
Absolutely,
some
yeah.
of them will be rewritten or redone. Or,
Absolutely,
To
absolutely.
try and make it work. They got the set there, let's do it over again and see if we can't use
Well,
it.
usually it's completely different. Production.
No, I know.
Yeah,
Usually they'll do that because you want to get the audience there. Now, I want to ask you a question, which maybe you can answer or not. Is it a flop because the audience doesn't like it or because the reviewer doesn't?
Sometimes it's both.
Okay.
Usually, of course, the reviewer has some say in it, and when the audience reads the reviews.
They say, well, I'm not going to spend my money.
Right.
It's a lousy play.
But sometimes you've got a show like, okay, so we have a show, we're doing a song from Parade, which is the Jason Robert Brown musical. That show was very, very, very dark, and it didn't help that it happened at the holiday season. The audience didn't want to see it. It also didn't happen that the producer went to prison, and yeah, and funnily enough,
It had a dark cloud over it.
funnily enough, he's allowed back on Broadway now, even after scamming investors. He's the producer of
yeah.
Paradise Square.
Okay.
But that's beside the point.
Okay. So, yeah, so it could be anything that kind of, so if the audience doesn't like it.
Right, so if the audience didn't like it, and then the producer goes to prison, there's no one to foot the bill.
Yeah. And we look at the sensation of Hamilton.
Right.
That was, I mean, there's just no end to that. It's such a fabulous
Yeah.
musical. And who would have thought that you could have a
You
musical
never-
about,
You never know.
Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton. I mean, what? A
There's-
musical. Can you imagine the guy sitting there? I've got this play I'd like to do this musical. It's called I think we're going to call it Hamilton. And he says, Hamilton who? And he says, oh, Alexander Hamilton.
know.
And he goes, what? Who's gonna come to a play about Alexander Hamilton or a
Right.
musical?
Well,
I mean, think about that.
you never know what's gonna, so there's, we're doing a song from Mac and Mabel. That's from the writers of Hello, Dolly.
Yeah.
And starred Robert Preston and
I remember
Bernadette
that. Yeah,
Peters.
that one I remember.
That flopped.
Yeah.
So you never know what a sure thing is.
Yeah, but I mean, even, you got the person that's looking at whether they're going to be
Exactly.
the angels to put their
That's
money
right.
into. It's like the Star Trek thing. If it wasn't for Lucille Ball, there would have been no Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly.
See, so you got to have somebody that's willing to take a
Right.
chance on some of these, and if you take a chance and they're a flop, well,
Yep.
they're going to come see you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm really glad. So tell people when it is, where it is, and how they can get tickets.
Sure. So it is the 28th and the 29th of May. The 28th is at 8 p.m. and the 29th is at 2 p.m.
Sunday.
Yep. And it's at the Sandy Hill Arts Center in Hudson Falls.
Okay.
We've done shows as Bunbury.
You go a
We've
lot
done-
of places.
Right. Because we have people from all over. We're trying to find a more central location, but
No, but
it's
the fact
hard.
is,
Yeah.
you know, Hudson Falls may need a good musical. You
That's
know?
right.
I mean, so
And
let's move
the
around.
Sandy Hill Art Center it used to be the Masonic Temple, but now they've got a nice stage. They put in LED lights. They put in a sound system. It's a wonderful little area, and it's perfect for a cabaret like this. And don't need to get tickets because, as always, Bunbury Players productions are completely free to the
Oh,
public.
really?
Yeah, we believe in completely free and accessible theater to all.
You take donations, I would
We
hope.
take donations, but
Because you got to put money into buying this. Well, you don't have to buy the script, but you have to but you have to rent the.
yeah. So we luckily we have some wonderful donors, and we do appreciate any donations. We're also
At the door, you can
right,
take it.
yeah, and we
okay.
also take Venmo and PayPal and
Okay.
et cetera. But we believe in free and accessible theater because, you know, not everybody can afford to go see a show, which is too bad, and we believe theater should be for everyone.
And how are you handling the pandemic?
We started in the pandemic.
I know you did, but I mean, how are you handling
Oh,
it?
yeah.
I mean, are masks required? What's
Yeah, oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
masks and proof of vaccination is absolutely required. We want to keep everyone safe.
Yeah.
Though we'll have like table areas, so if you're with your family, you can sit at
You
a
sit
table.
together.
Yep, you'll be fine, and we'll have refreshments, obviously, but we really do stress the vaccination and the masks because
Yeah.
we want to keep everyone safe. And the thing is, we want to, you know, we're following the pandemic now to see
You
if
try-
we
yeah.
can continue on doing it live. If we have to do it via, you know, film it and present it, we'll do it that way. But the thing is, we want to be able to share these wonderful songs with everyone.
Absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. It's always fun to have you on the show.
I appreciate it.
To talk about what's going on with and so come back again. I know you had a fundraiser that you had to cancel or something.
Yeah, luckily we just announced our next season and we've everything's booked.
What's your next season?
Okay, so we've got 6 shows.
Okay.
So first show we're doing it's in August. It is called Mission Improbable, and that's going to be a night of improv.
Okay. Oh, I love improv.
Yeah. And then let's see, I believe it's November, we're doing the Heidi Chronicles by Wendy Wasserstein.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Then in, let's see, December, I will be directing, going back to our roots, we're going to be doing a Zoom production of A Christmas Carol.
okay.
Then we are doing, in January, it's a night of original one-acts.
Okay.
4 original one-acts from local writers.
Got great writers in the area.
April, we're doing Twelfth Night, Shakespeare.
12th night, woo.
Yeah, and then we're ending the season July with Spring Awakening.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, you got really wow, what a lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
All, other than myself, all the directors are brand new, have never directed for us before.
Got to start somewhere.
That's right,
And this is the place to do it.
absolutely.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
so
here.
much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I want to tell you who's coming up. This next show coming up, we could be talking about the Kids Art Festival, and we have 3 guests coming on there. We're going to talk with my side. They've got a summer programs, and I was over there for their gala, and I'll tell you, their exhibits are wonderful, so please go over there and check it out. St. Paul Center and Schenectady Historical Society will be here as well, talking about their tours coming up. And we have singles outreach. I want to ask, do I have another minute or two? Can I hear you? Sure. Yeah, I got another minute. I got to tell you something because I want to share this with you. So over the past 24 hours, I've gotten 3 phone calls. The first one said that I had won $2.5 million from Publishers Clearinghouse, and also a Mercedes-Benz of the color of my choice. The second one said, a phone call came in, said I had won $4.5 million with a Mercedes. And then the last one I got, which was yesterday, was $12.5 million, which the money's going up. But, so how do they work that scam? I just got to tell you that they want you to send the money in the form of gift cards so that they can deliver the car on a flatbed that you have to pay $1,000 to have your car delivered. Of course, there won't be any car. But I want to tell you, please, please, please watch out. Don't answer the phone unless you know who's calling. And one other thing I want to mention is just because you see the caller ID, it does not mean it's the FBI calling you from their actual number. It could be anybody in the world calling you. Please be careful. Don't be scammed. I'm Ann Perillo, Capital Region Today, and I'm just trying to give you some good advice. Don't get scammed.